Hey everybody, it's Ed Zoller with Teachers Come By Homes Villa Realty Group with your Funday Monday Winner Results. Say, did you know two antennas got married? Their reception was amazing. We're going to get to this trivia question, and I got a lot of you on this one, and I had 67 of you answer, and only 10 of you got it right. So I did not mean these questions to be kind of difficult, but I guess this was a tough one to Google. And so I'll explain. The answer to the trivia question was, of the four species I gave, who could hold their breath the longest? And the answer was the sloth. And what's amazing to me is the sloth can hold its breath for 40 minutes, and people are like, wait a minute, they're up in trees and they move really slow. And it's because of them moving so slow. You got to imagine them swimming across a river would take forever, so they know how to hold their breath the longest. A golden retriever can hold their breath for like 3 minutes. That's the longest of all dog species, so that's why I put golden retriever in there, but most dogs can only hold their breath for 30 seconds. Dolphins actually breathe air, and they resurface a lot to do that. I think that's like 10 to 15 minutes or 8 to 10 minutes, as I have here. Beavers were the second highest on that at 15 minutes. But what I found was interesting is the species that can hold its breath the longest of any species, they can hold their breath for 6 days, and that's a scorpion. So I gave you that interesting fact for those of you that may have answered. I put that in there, and I'll have this in the video as well. But that was amazing to me. And a scorpion is actually not its own little insect. It's an arachnid. So any of one of you that finds spiders in the pool, and my wife always thinks, if I just drown the spider, well, if they follow any kind of suit like scorpions, they'll probably hold their breath longer than you're awake for 6 days. Anyway, so thanks for answering that. I always said I was just going to try to keep this as just the answer, but I do want to talk about something that's going on out there and a couple new things that I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with. There's a lot of changes, especially with the insurance rates, flood insurance, the new houses that are now all of a sudden in flood zones, even though you never flooded. And a lot of you might see that your mortgage goes up. And I just want to let you guys know, if you're watching this, your mortgage never goes up. Your interest rate, your principal, the 30-year fix, the PMI, if you're on an FHA loan, it just never changes. That is fixed for the 30 years of the loan. What's not fixed is your escrow, which is your tax, the money that you give the bank so that they pay your tax and insurance. And so what's happening to a lot of you out there is that your insurance may have gone out of business, and you never got a notice from them because, hey, they're out of business. And if your insurance lapses, the bank gets notified, and they will force place insurance. I have heard of force place insurance costing 6-7 times what you're paying in insurance. And although you may not know about it because you're like, hey, I'm insured, but you're going to fall short on escrow at the end of that next year. And the bank's going to go, hey, we are paying $6,000 for insurance, and you only gave us $1,000 because that's what your policy used to be, and you owe us $5,000. They're going to spread that over 12 months and increase it again. So it's not uncommon to have your mortgage go up $500, $600, $700, even $1,000 or more dollars because of your shortage in escrow. But there is something you can do about it. From this point forward, when you get that bill, that even though it says this is not a bill because the bank's paying it, you do have to look at it and record what you got insurance for when you first bought your house. And if you see that they want to increase your premium, even if it's it's 20, 30 bucks, who cares, a year. But if it's going to go up $40, $50, $100 a month, or $1,000 or $800 increase, I think we should go ahead and get new quotes and see what we can do. There are some new insurance carriers that just hit our market this year, and we're supposed to get 3 new ones. I just met for 4 hours yesterday, Jake with Goosehead Insurance, and he was discussing everything that's out there. Second thing about insurance, I can make a whole video on this. I want to keep this short. If you are in a flood zone, and we're not in a flood zone before, or you notice that your flood policy has gone up drastically, there is something of a legacy rate that FEMA gave people if you wrote your flood insurance policy prior to 2021. I think it's October 2021, that you can inherit other people's. This is more for buyers who are getting a flood insurance policy from a house. But if you already have flood insurance and you bought the home prior to 2021, you are eligible for that legacy rate of insurance, so that you're not in the new FEMA 2.0 land of $10,000 or $8,000 flood insurance policies. Also, there's something you can do where you can actually fill out a form and submit to FEMA and tell them that, hey, my area might be in a flood zone, but my house is not, especially if you have a new build. I may advise that it's a good idea to get an elevation certificate on your house so that we can prove to FEMA that, hey, the area might flood, the street might flood, but my house is safe because it was built up to a certain code and level. And you may have gotten that when you bought the home elevation certificate, or you may just have to go get one. And I do have people that can do that as well. So I would say this might all sound confusing, but if you had anything happen, if you saw your mortgage go up a dime, it doesn't hurt to give me a call. Like you also have my phone number. Send me an email. I'll have that on this as well. And we can go through this to make sure that you just don't take it on the chin because the insurance company says, hey, we're increasing our premium 50%. And it takes a half a day, and I can do most of the work for you so that we can change your insurance policy so that A, it doesn't lapse, or B, you get stuck being short and your mortgage going up as well. So let's get to the winner results. I'm going to flip it shows my screen here. So congratulations, you 10. Now I was doing before where I would add all these names and we would have columns and rows, but I want to reward those of you who actually got the answer right and said a sloth was the one that can hold its breath the longest of the other three. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a 10-sided die. And I didn't think I got my die roller up there. So let's roll that 10-sided die without dropping my camera. Die roller. I thought I had this up. I must have gotten out of it. And it's just a 10-sided die. So I got my little cursor on the 10. A 3. And who is 3? Amanda O'Keefe. You are the winner of my Funday Monday Winner Results. I'm going to send the Amazon gift card over your way. I will apologize to you guys. I did not forget about you for 2 months. There is something that Google and Yahoo did to emails that allowed none of my emails that I was sending you, any of you, to get them. I think my open rate went from normally about 70% of you open up my emails and read them or look at them or at least acknowledge them. And I had a 1% both in February and March and realized that it was on my end of something called DMARC and DKIM. So if you are noticing maybe your emails are not getting through to your friends, family, or whatnot, probably not, because personal emails should go through. But that is something that businesses like myself, or I send out quite a few emails that it's been all been blocked. So actually, I think Amanda O'Keefe won in February, and I sent out my winner reveal, and none of you guys got it because it all went into spam. And I had to call her and say, hey, I noticed that she never opened the email. None of you did. And that was not your fault. That was completely on our end. That should all be fixed. I'm going to test this one out to make sure the April emails all go out. And that's why you may have been also getting emails from Constant Contact or from myself through other sources, because I had to be able to still communicate with you. LeeCountyMarketUpdate.com, which will also be a link in this email as well, is going to have everything about the market updates, talk about everything real estate. I do have now that website where if you want to know everything I know and go through an entire PowerPoint in about a half an hour, you can open the PDF right there on your screen. And if you want the 15-minute quick version, I'll have a video where I'm just going over the graphs and going over the things. Big changes that happened April 1st, especially with builders, our inventory, and of course I have a bunch of other links to make it resources for you guys so keep you better educated, which has always been my goal, educate you about this market, the changes in the market. But please do not let insurance go too high or not pay attention to that bill, even though it's not a bill and you don't pay it, the bank does. But if they're paying too much and lending you money or falling short, they will collect interest for that, and they will punish you in increasing your mortgage. So don't wait for that to happen. If you catch that bill in time, which will be exactly the month before you bought your home, so it's a good and important idea to know what month did I buy, was it in May? Then you're getting that letter now. If you closed in May of whatever year you bought, because that insurance renews every year. Anyway, you got my number. Give me a call. You're never going to bother me. I'm here for you guys, and we'll get all through this. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.